Where are we going?
I am so lost right now.
Later on, if you feel tired, you ask someone to swap. Okay.
What's going on? I have no idea where I am. I don't know where to meet this person. I don't have their number. I'm lost and I'm just getting stared at. Okay. I don't like being a tourist. Not the way it's traditionally done. Passing through a place to sample its food, see its sights, and relax at a hotel where you're physically in the country but emotionally distant from the people. That doesn't appeal to me. But diving into the language and culture, connecting deeply with people, learning the history and forming a bond with the community to make the space feel more like a home, that's what makes my heart sing. Sevilla feels like that to me. Mexico City's starting to feel like that. But Indonesia doesn't. Yet. I'm just trying to talk to local people in Bali. I like learning languages, so I'm curious about the language and about like do's and don'ts of the culture, how to respect the culture when people travel.
Have you been the fire then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You see this one.
Okay.
Because this is where the live music Balinese gamelan instrument, and then they play in front of Saraswati temple. So very beautiful place there.
It's hot and it's wet and it's sticky.
Sticky, humid, yeah.
But it's not unbearable.
Welcome to Southeast Asia.
Indonesia is the fourth largest country in the world, with a population of 275 million people. It's estimated to have over 17,000 islands, over 700 languages, is majority Muslim, and has a president. The country has strong Hindu and Buddhist influences as well, was once a major Dutch colony, and gained independence in 1945. So I just had an ice cream on top of bread with shredded cheese. I don't know how that makes sense, but it's really good. Jakarta is the capital city of Indonesia and is the center of economy, culture, and politics. It's the largest Indonesian city and the most populous island in the world, with a population of 35 million. Jakarta has been inhabited since the 4th century and was once the capital of the Dutch East Indies when it was once called Batavia. Jakarta also has a problem. The city's sinking. It sinks nearly 7 inches per year and sea levels are rising, making the city prone to flooding. Just now, there are talks of moving Indonesia's capital from Jakarta to an island called Borneo. I've got a few days to spend in Indonesia, and while I want to feel connected to the community, the truth is, I feel like an outsider. I don't know the language. I have no connections to people here that I know of. I'm unfamiliar with the history, the food, the important places that shape this community. Everything and everyone around me feels unfamiliar. I want to feel connected to this place and the people here, but I'm an outsider. The question is, how do I change that? I'm supposed to try to learn as much Indonesian as I can, so that by the end of the week we can have like conversations in Indonesian.
Pacaran berapa bulan?
Yeah, berapa bulan?
Okay.
And like I can interview people, but it's a challenge. I've never tried learning a language that fast. For the few days I'm here in Indonesia, I'm going to try to connect with this place and its people. Learning the language is the first thing that comes to mind for me, but that's the hardest one. So let me start somewhere easy. Cooking and eating delicious local food.
Laura, Jerry, start your engine. Push and then turn left.
Bagaimana bilangnya cooking?
Cooking, memasak.
Masak.
Memasak.
Memasak?
Yeah.
Memasak.
Oh, Gary, you can speak Indonesian also?
Learning.
Okay, Jerry, so that is enough.
Okay.
And now bring all your stuff downstairs.
Yeah. Now it's time you to blender.
Jerry, now you come that side.
Yes.
How's your
This
arms?
one. Good.
Workout, you didn't know you
More
could work
job
out.
again.
The clapping really helps.
Going. Motivation.
He's like your hype man.
You don't want to mess the rhythm up.
Right? So cute.
That is great. Oh, it's like a crab.
Wow. Finished it all.
We did a great job.
Yeah.
Got our money's worth.
Just the crab is left.
Yeah.
With my appetite satiated by some tasty Balinese classics and homemade recipes in hand for me to continue making, I'm starting to feel more at home here in Indonesia. I think I'm ready to dive further. The next place I look to is the physical environment around me, the ground I walk on, the buildings I look at, the animals that surround me, and the structures built by the community here. I want to learn more about the physical spaces that matter to people here and their histories.
This guy with the white t-shirt,
Oh, white.
it is the king of Ubud.
Really?
Yeah, he's the house.
That's his house.
Yeah, he's the king of Ubud.
Wow.
The white t-shirt.
Wow. This is Ubud, an administrative district with a population of 75,000 that serves as a cultural and arts center in Bali. The center of Ubud is a hotspot for tourism, but Ubud is also surrounded by farms, rice paddies, and locals in the villages nearby. It's said that the town is connected to healing, as it was once popular for its herbs and plants, and its name derives from the Balinese word ubad, for medicine.
We're heading to Lempuyang Temple. It is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And you're gonna get to see it.
This is Lempuyang Temple. It's a Balinese Hindu temple on the slope of a mountain, Mount Lempuyang. And on top of being incredibly beautiful, it's one of the most highly regarded temples in Bali, considered one of the 6 holiest places of worship in the region.
This is a sarong. A sarong because we're going to the temple and we want to respect the space. So you wear this, especially if you're wearing shorts, because that's not go.
This is Tirta Ganga, a former royal palace built by a king in 1946 that was later damaged by a volcanic eruption and restored. It's named after the river Ganges, a sacred river in Hinduism. This is Tukad Cipung, a beautiful waterfall to the northwest of Ubud in Bali. Tukad means river and Cipung, flow in Balinese.
We are in the waterfall. It's wet, it's raining, and we're stuck because umbrellas or banana leaf hat? I think banana leaf hat.
Alas Harum is a tourist spot near Ubud with coffee plantations, rice terraces, and beautiful bridges. It admittedly doesn't have much historical or cultural significance, but it does have the biggest luwak statue in Indonesia. The luwak is the civet cat responsible for luwak coffee. The civet cat eats coffee cherries, partially digests them, and poops them out. And then people use this to make coffee. That's considered a delicacy.
So this is luwak coffee, really like poop coffee. And I'm gonna try it. That is very sour. It's like a very sour fruit almost.
I spent some days living in a small area of Bali called Klungkung. About 200,000 people live here, and it says that Klungkung is known for its classic Balinese paintings. I enjoyed Klungkung most because it was embedded into the local community and surrounded by nature and stillness. Understanding more about the history and context of the physical spaces that surround me now give meaning to the structures when I look at them. This is something else that is starting to make me feel more at home here in Indonesia. With some exploration of food and places covered, my mind turns back to the language. I truly believe that learning to speak the language is the most effective way to connect with a place and bond with its people. It's impossible to learn a language in days, but I wonder how much I can pick up if I try, and what bonds that journey will help me form along the way.
Like Indonesian language, yeah, we call like a good morning. Indonesian, yeah, we call selamat pagi. Yeah, but in Bali, rahajang semang.
Wow.
Yeah, very different.
Indonesian, or Bahasa Indonesia, is the national language of Indonesia and is the 11th most spoken language in the world, with about 200 million speakers.
Senang bertemu dengan Jerry.
Senang bertemu dengan kamu.
Indonesian is a standard variety of Malay, with some Dutch and Javanese influences, and the language was used to unify the people of Indonesia, since the country has thousands of inhabited islands and over 700 native languages. Indonesians usually learn their native language to talk to people in their town, and Bahasa Indonesia to connect to people in the rest of the country.
For example, in English, thank you, yeah. In Bahasa, terima kasih. In Balinese, suksema. Different.
Very different.
Very different.
Why do you have milik niya too? It's the same thing?
Yeah, something like itu kucing dia.
Itu kucing dia.
Yeah.
That kind of
Ini
thing.
kucing saya.
Ini kucing saya.
My cat.
Or like say kucing milik no miliknya.
Miliknya.
Ah,
Milik dia.
itu kucing miliknya.
Yeah.
Okay. Dia kucing dia.
Dia kucing.
Dia no. Kucing dia.
Tidak kucing.
These moments right here are what I love most about language immersion. When you meet someone new and leave feeling like old friends. When you think about the country or city, and instead of magazine cover images, your mind flashes snapshots of faces you've met, names you remembered, foods you've tasted and made, phrases you've uttered. Moments of connection. These are the moments that turn a place from a travel destination into a home.
Favorite part of Indo?
Definitely the people. People here have been so kind and super nice.
Making friends is fun.
And they've treated us really well, always making sure we're okay, we have water if we need, carrying our things for us when it started raining, getting a banana leaf to cover me so I wouldn't be wet, things like that. I love those little we care about you type of things that people do, just to make sure you're having a good time. Learning the language is really cool too. I got just maybe not even 1% of the language done, and really quite something to be able to speak to people, and even just a couple of words, the connection already feels much stronger. Everyone has been excited that we're learning some Indonesian, so that was cool to see too. I know it's not always like, you don't always get support for wanting to learn another nation's language, but I definitely feel it here. The food has been fantastic as well. I just also enjoyed the calmness that is here. I will definitely miss Indonesia. I think I'll be back. I didn't expect to start learning another language because I'm committed to Spanish, but I figured since I was here, I didn't want to be a tourist. I wanted to try to immerse into the culture a bit more, and language is usually has become my new ticket to start doing that, so that's why I started learning a bit of the language. But now that I've started, I don't want to stop. So I think I'll definitely be back in Indonesia, and I think at some point I'll definitely learn the language fully.
My trip to Indonesia is coming to an end, and I've only barely scratched 1% of the surface of what it means to live here. But I have a feeling this won't be my last time in Indonesia. Once you start connecting to the language, people, community, and physical spaces of a place, it's hard to walk away without holding on to some of that. And it's hard to not continue connecting deeper. I have a feeling that there's more of Indonesian language learning, bond building, and immersion experiences awaiting me in the future. But for now, I'll take the experiences I got here and carry them with me as I travel back to another home on the other side of the world.
I guess what I'm really trying to say is thank you to the people that we met, and thank you to Indonesia at large for hosting us in your home. Until next time, hasta la próxima, Indonesia.
Thank you, Indonesia. Sampai jumpa nanti. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to support the channel and click here for some of the best tips to learn languages and to see other adventures that Languages Unlocked for me in Spain, Mexico, and all over the world. Sending good vibes and energy to you all, and hasta la próxima.